Lilo pushes Myrtle off a stage. Okay, yeah, she didn't beat the everlasting bloody fuck out of her Mortal Kombat style like I wanted her to, but hey, you know what? I'll take it. Automatic 10 out of 10 right there. I nearly applauded. Okay, I did applaud. Really fucking hard. Like, it was my chicken jockey moment. Lilo pushed Myrtle off a stage, and I was all like, oh my god. Yeah! 10 out of 10 right there! Big toy ass, Lilo! And you guys know that we're talking about the live-action Lilo and Stitch remake today, just from the way that I'm dressed, because in the last video, I wore the sunglasses on my head. Now they're on my face. Through the entire video. And also, I shaved. I did not shave in that last video, so you know what? Totally different. Also, I may not be wearing pants. Seriously, I'm not wearing pants. It's like 10:30 at night. I was all like, yeah, fuck it. I'll just jump in front of the camera. No one's gonna see down there.
Huh? La Crista!
What hideous planet is caught in your crosshairs?
A shooting star! I wish for a friend. Like a best friend.
What the hell?
Lilo and Stitch comes to us from Marcel the Shell director Dean Fleischer Camp and is the live-action remake of the now Disney classic about an alien experiment that poses as a lonely Hawaiian girl's dog to escape capture from its creator. You guys want to know something? That is the first time in God knows how long I was able to describe the plot of a movie without having to go look up the synopsis on IMDb. I just know this movie that goddamn well, and if you were to come up to me and ask, I could probably explain the entirety of the original front to back. So with that said, and the fact that I just did a 30-minute watching and talking on it, I don't think it's a secret that I just adore the original. I would go into detail as to why I love it so much, but again, 30-minute video, man. Go check it out. I'm actually really proud of that one. But I will say that I love this movie so much that even to this day, I still have this Stitch toy that I got at Disney World when I was like 5 years old, and my favorite thing about it is that it is intentionally supposed to bite you. Name another kid's toy that does that. But now because of money and our love for stuff that makes us nostalgic, we have yet another Disney live-action remake that no one ever asked for.
Stitch is back, alright.
But hey, some good news as of this moment. Due to Snow White bombing like crazy, shocker, they put all future Disney remakes on hold. Thank God. I don't want to see TikTok Hercules. That actually might be a thing. But that might not be lasting long because just as people are starting to realize that these remakes are shit, we all decided, hey, this one don't look bad and we're hyped. Well, what the fuck, guys? I thought we were all in agreement with these. Well, while you guys were getting excited to be spoon-fed your nostalgia, so was I. Wait, what? Damn it, Disney! Fuck! You got me! Yep, you heard right. I, Trev, of Trev's Movies, was actually excited for a Disney live-action remake in this day and age. I have mentioned this a couple times, but yeah, not a fan of these. But I can't say no to that face. By the way, I just got this today, and this is my new favorite popcorn bucket. I love it. It's so fuzzy. It is actually fuzzy, guys, and I love it. Ultimately, though, I think the real reason I was excited for this one was because I do love the original so much, and it honestly just looks so freaking cute. But on top of that, Snow White was just so bad, and then How to Train Your Dragon looks just so soulless and uninspired, to the point where Lilo and Stitch just look so much fun by comparison. Again, I don't care what they say! I am not looking forward to How to Train Your Dragon whatsoever. But nothing is going to stop me from getting that popcorn bucket. That is adorable. Speaking of which, I think that is the best way to describe this new version of Lilo and Stitch. It is just downright adorable. No matter what I say about the rest of the movie, Maia Kealoha is not just the big scene stealer, but she is what ultimately made this movie because she is Lilo. Yes, Stitch is very much Stitch, and we'll get more into him in a moment, but out of all the major casting in every Disney remake that has ever been made, she is damn near on par with her animated counterpart, to the point where it feels like she studied this character. And man, even if her character wasn't all that great, you would still feel very bad for her in the context of the movie for her being alone, because she's just so freaking adorable in the sweetest little thing. And I'm sorry, but the scene where she finds Stitch in the kennel, that is already the feel-good moment of the year. It was just so freaking heartwarming. But yeah, we already kind of expected her to be great, so how's the rest of the movie? What's it like? Well, I'll say this, as a Disney remake, it's automatically one of the better ones, but compared to the original, it's not even close to being better, but that's almost common sense at this point. But by the end of the movie, I was able to say that I had fun and really enjoyed myself. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this video is obviously gonna turn out to be much longer than I expected, but I really do not have as big a gripes with this remake as I tend to have with every other Disney remake. I didn't think I was going to be saying that either. Now don't get me wrong, like every Disney remake, it's flawed, but in the case of this one, you're already aware of some of the biggest changes they've made. But before I mention any of that, I'm gonna give out my positives because I have more than I expected. First off, I really have to praise everyone who worked on the CGI. It's clear that the filmmakers knew how much the original and these characters meant to people, so they wanted to make them look as accurate as possible, and because of that, Stitch, Jumba, Pleakley, and the Grand Councilwoman all look incredible, and my favorite aspect about them is that, are you ready for this? They emote! There are a lot of times in these remakes where the very cartoony characters might sound happy, sad, or even angry, but they clearly are not expressing that on their face. But for this movie, these have got to be the most expressive CG characters in any Disney remake, and the amount of hard work these artists put in paid off so damn well. Anytime Stitch feels sad, you actually get emotions out of how he's feeling because you see the sadness on his face. And just like his animated counterpart, he's just as cute. Speaking of Stitch, he did not change an ounce from the animated movie. And that is of course a good thing because he still feels and acts like the same Stitch we've all known and loved for years, and he's just as likable, funny, cute, and fluffy as he's always been. I've always been for them changing a few things in Disney remakes, but there's honestly nothing you can change here because with this character, if you were to change Stitch, the movie would automatically be ruined. One thing that I've always heard people praise about the original, including myself, was the relationship between Lilo and her sister Nani, which is handled so well that it's a lot of people's favorite aspect of that film. And here, it's still done pretty well, and even in live action, I still believe them as sisters, and the two actresses are very believable in these roles and work very well off of each other. I even like the little add-on of Lilo slowly accepting Nani as her mother figure, to the point where she even says, "I like you as a mother just as much as I love you as a sister." And that's just really sweet. Next to this being the Disney remake that has the best looking CG characters, it's also arguably the best looking Disney remake as well. But let's be honest, there isn't much competition when A, your movie takes place in Hawaii of all places, and B, a lot of the other Disney remakes look kind of ugly. With that said, Hawaii does look beautiful, and the movie easily does a good job of making me want to go visit there someday, just from looking at only a few key shots of the film. If it took place literally anywhere else, I think this movie would have the disadvantage of not being animated, just because the original had those beautiful watercolor backgrounds. And if you were afraid that the movie was not going to have its classic soundtrack, don't worry, all the songs you associate with Lilo and Stitch are all here. While they do have the same composer but different singers, I will say the Hawaiian roller coaster ride and the opening song are pretty on par with each other. And yes, not only did I get hyped, but I did get goosebumps as that opening song started to play. But when it comes to the new rendition of Elvis Presley's Burning Love, it is a major downgrade. Apparently the next step is to go from Winona Judd to the Disney Channel original movie rendition sung by kids. And in my opinion, while it isn't bad, compared to the Winona Judd version, it's a hunga shit! And above all else, this is one of the only Disney remakes that actually has heart. I'm going to repeat that. We have actually somehow, in this day and age, gotten a Disney live action remake that actually has some heart behind it, and it didn't feel soulless at all. And this kind of seems like a no-brainer, but this is easily the funniest Disney remake, and there's really no bar for that, so it doesn't have much competition to begin with. But still, it is really funny, and most of that has to do with the chemistry between Lilo and Stitch, who still really feel like the animated characters from the movie, as previously stated. And I never thought I'd see the day, guys. Not only did they give more focus to little robot guy, but he has dialogue. Ah! Little robot guy for president. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, what does not work about this movie? Because, well, it's a Disney remake. So of course there's a lot that they changed that honestly does not work. So, gee, I wonder what or whom I should talk about first.
No, wait!
They'll do. So if you're unaware, one of the biggest quote-unquote controversies surrounding this movie was how they were going to be portraying the characters of Jumba and Pleakley. In the original, there's this bit in which they disguise themselves from looking like aliens, and they put on the most obvious disguises. But as a lot of you know by now, throughout most of the movie, they're in full human disguises, and they were played by Zach Galifianakis and Billy Magnussen, and throughout most of the movie, we see them as Zach Galifianakis and Billy Magnussen. And while I would prefer for them to be in goofy disguises, the director did come out and say, he tried. He tried to put them in the goofy disguises, but it just wasn't going to work due to the budget. So that's why throughout a majority of the movie, Jumba and Pleakley are seen as humans. But as for this choice, it's very much a mixed bag for me because I prefer Pleakley in his alien form, but I more prefer Jumba in his human form than his alien form because, I'm sorry, Zach Galifianakis' voice does not match that character. One of the most well-known things about Jumba in the animated movies and shows is his Russian accent, and it's basically a staple of that character.
He can see in the dark and move objects 3,000 times his size. His only instinct to destroy everything he touches.
Here though, when he's regular Zach Galifianakis, it's just Zach Galifianakis, so whatever. But when he's in his alien form, he looks and sounds like a whiny dweeb that lives in his mom's basement. I'm sorry, that voice does not match that character.
626 is unstoppable, indestructible, and smarter than 100 supercomputers. I don't want to play anymore.
I tried to get used to it, but I'm sorry, I just couldn't. Speaking of the CGI and the budget, you can very much tell that not only did they want to save money with this one, but they wanted to put most of it to the CGI for Stitch. I mostly say that because the opening to this movie where they introduce all the aliens is so rushed that you'll blink and be like, I'm sorry, what just happened? It's as if they were making the movie and someone just come in and was like, guys, we gotta make this a little bit quicker, we're starting to lose money. And yes, I am fully aware that this is one of the cheaper Disney remakes and it's somewhere around $100 million, but hey, maybe next time, don't go spend $270 million on a movie that's already dead on fucking arrival. But also, the more I think about it, I'm kind of fine with that choice in some ways because some of the original's opening was more focused on Captain Gantu, so he could be more of a threatening presence later on. But since he's not in this one, there's not much to say besides Stitch escapes and Jumba and Pleakley have to go after him. Wait a minute, hold on, whoa, stop, wait a minute! Did you just say that Captain Gantu, one of the biggest staples of the Lilo and Stitch franchise and the main villain, is not present in this remake? Yep. Right off the bat, I will say, I find it kind of funny that people now just figured out about this week because I figured it out like a month ago just from a key shot from one of the trailers and also the fact that his name does not pop up under any of the actors on IMDb. And when I first heard that this was official and that he wasn't going to be in the remake, I thought, okay, I like this character and all, but I guess that's a change. And again, for the budget that they had and the fact that that character is just so freaking huge, it makes sense, I guess. So with that character's absence, we now have a big gap of how are you supposed to do the ending? And on top of that, who's the main villain? Well, recently, people were speculating that it was going to be Cobra Bubbles because in the original, he was a social worker throughout and then revealed to be a former CIA agent at the end. In this version, however, it's the opposite, where he's a CIA agent looking for Stitch who goes undercover as a social worker. But to keep it short and simple, no, he is not the villain, and honestly, his character is really freaking pointless in this, but we'll get more into that in a second. So if it isn't Cobra and Gantu isn't present, who's the villain? I honestly cannot tell you guys because it's a major spoiler. And honestly, I didn't even put together that this character was going to be the villain until we got towards the end of the movie. I mean, before going in and even during the movie, I was just like, okay, most of this is playing out exactly the same, but without Gantu, how do you do that climax? And to tiptoe around it, all I can really say is that it feels like they only made this character the villain just because the movie needed a climax. And with that choice, Gantu's presence really does feel missed here as the villain because he felt like a legit threat by the end. Unlike Jumba and Pleakley, who turned around to liking Stitch towards the end, Gantu just wanted to get rid of him because he saw him as a nuisance and an abomination.
Oh, so cute and fluffy!
And on top of that, he's fucking gigantic, and Kevin Michael Richardson's voice did bring a threatening presence to that character. And what they did with the villain here actually ruins the continuity of everything else Lilo and Stitch to where it is my biggest issue with the movie. Honestly, I can't say I hate it, but man, I really don't like it to the point where it really brought the movie down a few points for me. I am predicting this now. I don't know when this review is coming out, but I saw the movie Tuesday night. It is now late Wednesday night when I'm recording this, so I'm recording this the Thursday before all the early screenings start, but my prediction is that this aspect of the movie is going to become the big talking point online this weekend. There's also just a few add-on characters that they have here that really have no purpose, but they're just whatever. In this new version, we have David's mother. Okay, but on top of that, Cobra Bubbles is not the social worker, so instead of him, they got Tia Carrere, Nani's original voice actor, to play that role. And yes, while that is a cool little Easter egg, that just makes Cobra's role in the story even more pointless and unneeded. Sometimes it feels like he's only in this just because they already had to give up Gantu, so they didn't want to get rid of two pivotal characters. And this is yet another case in which the movie somehow plays out exactly like the original, but is somehow longer? True, I did not feel the runtime because of that, but that really never makes any sense to me. Except with Snow White, because that was almost a completely different movie from the original. And while I can't at all say that they butcher it, they do kind of mess up the Aloha Oi scene between Nani and Lilo. In the original, Nani quietly sings this song to Lilo with no music in the background of any kind, and by making that choice, it makes it one of the most emotional scenes in the movie. Here, however, they do add ukulele music this time, and while it's not as effective as it was in the original, it's fine enough. The only problem is that this moment is kind of undermined by the fact that they sing Aloha Oi 2 times before this scene ever happens. And yeah, while the other 2 times are more just for fun, the momentum of that scene is kinda ruined when the sustenance is removed from you already doing it.
Lost.
But really, I think this is one of the rare occasions where I don't have as many problems with a lot of the changes that they made in this remake. I still stand by the fact that Cobra is pointless, and I still don't like the choice of who the villain is, but as for all the others, they're not that major of changes, and none of them ruin the movie for me. But I'm sorry, the villain, man, I really cannot get over it, and I really don't see a lot of fans being happy with it. But despite my issues that I always expect from a Disney remake, I can safely say that this is one that I actually enjoyed watching. Lilo & Stitch 2025 is by no means a great movie, and it is nowhere near as good as the original, but for what it is and what I expected from it, I think it gets the job done just right. It's got some great performances from some perfect casting, great CGI that stays true to the look of the original, and it's all around so freaking cute and a lot of fun. While it's not going to change your life or anything, I think this is the perfect movie to take the family to over Memorial Day weekend. And the best way I can describe this movie is that, while it is broken, it's still good. Yeah, still good. I'm going to give Lilo & Stitch 2025 a B. And if you're even slightly curious, no, they did not add in the Pudge death scene. And hell, Lilo feeding Pudge doesn't even feel like that big of a deal here because we never actually do find out how the parents died, and it feels like Pudge is only here because that's a thing people really like from the original. But now we just need to get through How to Train Your Dragon. I really don't care about that one, guys. I don't. If you're excited for it, good for you. Me, it looks the same. Every fucking frame, shot, line, everything. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, turn on the notification bell, and while you're at it, go follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Letterboxd at Trev's Movies. And while you're at it, go check out my watching and talking on the original Lilo & Stitch. And I'll be back later with more reviews. And I'll see you then.